Mr. Lynch, lives only behind forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply, or 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 simply, yesterday, it's February 23rd, 2026, and it's Monday in Naples. Today fish full, happy Twin Peaks Day, February 33rd, February 24th. These particular days for all the fans, to everyone. Here in Naples today these two particular days. Here in Naples today at the moment it seems middle sky. This is absolutely for me middle an equivalent variable, but agitated means clear, sunny, day scatter sea in general, alternating to work with the cloudy day scatter sea in general. If also I can see mostly cloudy, but the moment is mid, and there is also wind cold and heavy, consider here perhaps more cold and heavy, or also heavy, but range less cold and heavy. But at the same time also it seems rest now where as a meter is wind cold and heavy, and it's early afternoon 13 and 41 minutes. 59 Fahrenheit 15 Celsius, it's really cold, like in Siberia. In fact, cold is classic agitated for the winter period. It's supposed for a second, as we can see, effect channel and for just as June 17. So, theoria work out for the forza, se alla spazzame, absolutely non rimane for me, lunga spazzame finché non poi. Also, like theoria work out for the second autumn, now also for the winter coming down to be as in December 25, in particular, se che si entra in 3 p.m. in Italy. Ora sarà absolutely non remember finché Boris and Boris, I suppose did. I'm sure at 3 di io mi singo su sime. Se so se immediatamente la corposa, perché ti 100 io si aspettano per sparare che si per me. E linea 2 sull'intera duration so for the spring exam new to for the spring to GT soft for the exam GT8 for auto once again GT soft so that già for the season di pirasa. Casi GT se guarda di grigli at least for me questa finger sempre completa absolutely complete. Vabbè no in Siberia because it's winter it's cold so we complete should complete but when I see sentence absolutely incomplete I'm referring to separate me in particular perhaps really from the Siberia thanks fact for the fact non feel cold adesso. And the people that was say so practice but two practice in particular I follow and do senza me su ritual for gold and I'll come in the winter period the winter weather first period I will start to come explain what is to practice this is what it first part discussed in the first comment in the last risk so some less interesting what is to practice but this is the first part of this comment in the disaster risk and if so the più fluent think not effective il cool right think yes one this depends on I think 90% of il cool or whatever in general in some way for me was good instead about the scatter situation enjoy way I don't know if I can say the music just for years it's good but totally completely if I can be feeling some function this being a really afternoon I think a temperature is much easier I repeated just before 59 Fahrenheit 15 Celsius but important thing was atmosphere anticipated basta il foto di Tisa. Essere curtino su una si curte in genere, many been sometimes choose most perfect list suppose fa che sono tanti repeat the sky è repeat middle between middle and mostly cloudy in fact consider trends not the yesterday into this what and see last week also according to what the consequences of things things possible or I'm not so sure at later late afternoon because it's really towards between late afternoon might became I think totally cloudy if not darker black and also that my train thought a few months actually later I think also very close let's see what happens but as always numbers went on chance with and once we'll see if the case comes today here bad well però solo contro but better see yes bad well or bad maximum toast a little good also good maximum toast a little well at general but say bad well I think is bad well So sì, so, mi dico, quindi una volta portiamo l'influenza, non influenza, mix, influenza, portiamo in sta uguale, magari se non è una cosa borti. Ma dovrei usare, in particolare da third birthday, ma però le forse sono noi setti tu, se bifur grey curtin, fai curtin, cosa bifur grey curtin, bifur pente, vi pensi stato ippo da pazzi, perché fanno per questo curtin, il thing is ready, rimane su di una comments, se che si vanno ma comments, come c'è che non sciupire, poi da festivalmente va per fortuna, ora non dam, si dice come section, ma non più canzino da si quello che si sciotto, ne abbiamo finché perhaps formality finché tea, green flowers, only flowers, mixed with plants. Oh, if not, even better, cioè le persone nasce quasi di first part of video, which produce a show di lui, vedete, scatta sia già scassi come di window, scassi come di room, ma se no, abbiamo saputo no, di solo da mi dico quindi, era mi dico room. Oh, from a bird perspective, also from Israel, place a short film, classical short film on tertiary from Tuesday, November, one to two, but dream is Saturday, surely more than interesting for the press curtain repeat, beautiful grey curtain, beautiful painted bench, rap also for the festival today, the story with the records, color curtain, if and dream exactly, surely the color curtain still in cover image, one day, so no damage to the se avessi sì, in this shot, tutto solo lì, fact, può and recent, and glory shooter, tutto solo in this, but ma when the risk, se si measure, non si vede ore da little speech, sente lo singing, se for the press curtain repeat, before the curtain, before painted bench, rap also in for the festival today, solo le cose, color curtain, if fosse in entre max at least, now si che si reddito, so di curtain, sorry, repeat expression, singing for fatam, se little speech or sentence, si dice, but also and always better visible for me its entirety in its shot si può insieme con le già shot. Si guardi che riuscite to activism fantastic activism festivals last October, it's important to be important that also is an activism and also read this sentence so the ultimate also for it so I use for it so repeat once again but also and always better visible for me its entirety in this shot at sequence symmetrical legend shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard, an IGX 640 PG 625 also in this legend shot. Since a few weeks, there was a previous as January 24th, it was started, also there is a new shot to which, vabbè, filmed, yes, new all this new shot to which you can see or watch the actual conditions December 2nd, 2024 of the keyboard. Practically, main problem is the fact that there is no light. Since that, today, there are also little problems, so but one problem, but the main problem is the fact of the light, and one day sono diventato nel try to fix it. Victim people of chance reports is getting it where so my sister. So myself, also mosquito. And finally, I hope you like that because the rates rate in general also mass, in fact, when I see late in France, and if maybe it's last September 31, in fact, the occasion for this time, it's late in general for the people, but all for my record, but not at all for my hours, because my hours so kind of stuck on normality, because 30 hours, see, in the winter period, more between in fact, December and January, less since February until the rest of the months, until let's say in fact October, November, until November, yes, in December, we'll see at around once again, this since December until once again, and since December and January, between December and January, at the same time it's late, But the whole important that is very for regular ci sembrano tutti tu sen fakkan back sfintene som lite så ut att tänker milka till fintan in parte med det tu sätt sen att regole secondo sembrano tri så straccio tu devi bit tu close si carico letto somma si sembrano ma non di essere giusti for era just for all obviously just in quote 13 and 41 minutes. Hatta l'importing to choose remember that in some way also we worked on it so I'm really angry. And as we always say, back of some most building that forward. Absolutely. And as you know, since I must know, but it's one thing more than 1 year, I was lost the code thing like effects of reason, form reason, for reason, Friday, also the new reason. At certain moment, X for reason, it crashed in the week of 10 Friday ago, at this point, between 9 and 10 Friday ago, and it was the 50th and so words. The beautiful red, black, and so white, that if the Monday compares with the difference, the man doing so first one, second, for some months, for the color, also for the color, so for the third, even if it was white and red, while it was red, black, and so white, all things that know, perhaps if they follow me on Fridays, what I got, think, nobody, so nobody which had my reason, all my other weather reports, other my videos. I guess this should be done video, but I promise you that one day or went on so many times you better as he did to them just such as using some of this speech and for some shot at my favorite and for some shot of using it's a joke but at this point no more than 1 year for some abyss some my favorite fan there are many commons biscuits I think to mess up to the chocolate chip cookies or the cookies the chips chocolate chips and if not mistake it's felt to be some miscellaneous. Ma in particolare, tu inizi a usare la sono fatto milk fare un shot tanto che si ricoffia così. Ma tu sei shot che fai così fresh when it is shot e inizi a stare finché se ti consiglio che lo so conosci di antipina sono intention better so more is quick si finisce l'analisi non si sbrutti non si finché 245 246 sì che lo so conosci di antipina sono intention better and so senza tanto ti hai patto insert it once in the milk so very good news. All'inizio strecking as breakfast suosa bomb sa prima particolare mega bomb adesso insi resti video se gioco so vedo che malta mod mania so of course mi fin questo time so let video e fin siamo non so come torni cose breakfast suosa mega bomb se continuo se vado sia sa mi infrabio sia strada con anzi ras mi sa sempre peso position però so cos'è qua at first peso position with the palm at genera all second peso position because altro che peso position per me dall'Italian Pub and Chocolate chip esias. Fuck, a due come ne giù. Because they are really super bar. Adesso tomorrow supposed to find the traffic, non tomorrow to go to Lepe. Now I see.